Hi people, Marino Ravenberg here again as always, and as usual. This video, as you can tell from the header, is going to be a brief explanation on the so-called DCR, or the Dark Cairo, and its manifestations. In the past, yeah, I've done the video regarding I Choose to Be Human, and what that entailed. That is self-explanatory in terms of the way I describe things there. And but other than that, the only other thing I can think of in the way of an explanation was Eduardo's testimonial. I asked Eduardo to do that because Eduardo Espinal, because I made him witness it. He was witness to the manifestation of my DCR, my Dark Cairo power. But still, as good as good as his testimonial was, it still, in my opinion, doesn't exactly describe everything in excess detail, even in a matter of speaking, inadequate to excess detail. No offense to him, of course. Now, in any case, that's what this video is going to be about, or yeah, that's what this video is going to be about, despite the fact that it's only an audio description. It's not necessary for an actual video. Sorry if my voice is a bit like cracklish, but it's 6 a.m. in my time zone. I just woke up, so hence that. In any case, listen, the Dark Cairo and the whole thing with the whole description of the dragon and whatnot. Let me keep that real short, okay? The Dark Cairo is literally just power that has been bestowed upon me by God Himself. I'm referencing and referring back to the article called My Apex. So long story short, for everything I did, all of my hard work and all of that, okay, in the past, like a couple of years ago, it was the regular Cairo, where I work with Jesus Christ Himself. He was sent my way as a reward for me being so skilled and so hardworking as an occultist. And now the absolute zenith of that has been God Himself bestowing power upon me. Now, this is called the Dark Cairo. What the Dark Cairo is simply my own power as an occultist amplified in an indescribable way. And the dragon, for example, and all the other things that you've heard described, these are simply manifestations of my power. By default, it simply involved my astral body being a lot bigger, okay? So my spirit essentially being 3 to 4 meters tall and being a lot bigger and a lot more potent than compared to the average person. It's like 100 guys in one, essentially. The dragon is more the amplifier of that power. In the beginning, it was a dragon that's just as big as me, so a human-sized dragon. And you name it, other astral bodies as well. I loosely used to refer to that as my dragon, big me, and regular me. But of course, like I said, this power also evolves, is something that people need to know. As time passes and as I become more adept with this power, then it becomes stronger and it also expands more. Okay, it becomes more potent. In any case, as things presently stand, I have a huge dragon, okay? Now, don't confuse this one with the one that I discussed in the video, what I Choose to Be Human. It's not the same thing, okay? This is a humanoid dragon, if you will, as in this dragon does not cause me to lose my humanity, okay? The one that I refer to, okay, the other giant dragon that I refer to when I essentially was so close to God that I was essentially in danger of losing my humanity, so I would, spiritually speaking, not be human at all anymore. That's a different one, okay? That's different. That one was flesh colored, essentially, like beige, you name it, okay, light brownish. This dragon is purely blue. So this dragon is the closest I can come to in terms of power without losing my humanity, in terms of divine power. But yeah, even this power, okay, at a human level or at a human level, it evolves and it becomes stronger. So as things currently stand, the dragon that I currently have, essentially, instead of like multiple astral bodies, they all fused into, as of yesterday, into one body, which is the dragon. And this dragon is really huge, okay, as in gigantic, ginormous. This is not a human-sized dragon. This is the same kind of dragon you see in movies and whatnot, you name it. So a dragon that's like 20-50 meters tall, taller even, and bigger as well, etc., etc. But this one is still blue, and that's also why I loosely refer to my power as DCR blue. It's simply the divinity within me, and this dragon is a manifestation of my divine power bestowed upon me by God Himself, as well as the fact that it serves as the catalyst and the amplifier for all other magical workings. The benefits of all of this, examples that I can give, as I've already described in the very recent past, are that egregores have become stronger. So, long story short, in the past, when I had to create an egregore, by default, any sorcerer that creates an egregore, okay, the benefit is that the egregore will last you a lifetime and he'll become stronger as time passes. That's the benefit. The drawback was that it takes a while for the egregore to become strong. Take like half a year. It could be anywhere between as fast as a couple of months to at slowest a year or two, you name it. But that's no longer the case with my divine dragon, if you will, with my draconian power. With my DCR blue, I noticed that when I create an egregore, every egregore is at least 10 times stronger, 5 to 10 times stronger than compared to the past, before my Dark Cairo. And it no longer, the whole aspect of them needing a while to become strong, that's also not existent anymore. So when I create an egregore, that egregore is, so to speak, good to go, quote unquote good to go. The egregore is super strong right off the bat, and he can immediately get things done with near immediate results or immediate results, let alone him actually growing stronger over time. So it's essentially like I'm creating I am creating a spirit, just a spirit that's already tremendously potent right off the bat. That's how powerful the divinity within me is. Um, Other example that I can give is that, for example, if I am traveling and I want to host a ritual, because this is something that I've already touched upon in the past in a way of a video. So how to deal with, for example, if you're an occultist and you're traveling, how do you host rituals for the spirits and whatnot? How do you not disrupt or see to it that your magical workings all of a sudden lose their potency, whether it be minor or major? Because if you're on the road, then you can't host ritual for the spirits that you work anymore on a periodical level the way you're used to. For example, once every week, etc. Every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, it just goes on. With my divine power, with my DCR blue, with my draconian power, I can host ritual without actually having to be present, without physically hosting the ritual. The only drawback, initially, I already have experience with this, because I traveled recently, like a week or two ago, and I wasn't home for close to a week, 4 or 5 days, and I simply performed rituals remotely. And I had already confirmed this in the past. The only drawback was like a 10% reduction in power or potency, but it was still convenient because it was better. When I actually got to hosting a ritual in a remote manner, only using my power, instead of a 10% deficit or a reduction in power, it was only 5%, for example, or 4%. So potency didn't get lost. I barely lost anything in the way of potency. And I can do this in the long term. In the long term, even, there would be no difference. I wouldn't have to physically host a ritual. All I do is send, or quote unquote, all I do is send energy, my draconian energy, my divine energy to my thingy, to, for example, remotely to the altars of the spirits I work with, and the ritual has already been hosted without ever having to actually physically host a ritual, the way I'm used to. I mean, I still do so just for the sake of good measure, and because, I'm used to it, for the sake of conventionalism, but it's not really necessary, okay? You name it. In the future, I might even phase it out altogether, but for now, it's not necessary. Okay, I only do this using my draconian energy as a as a backup option, essentially, when it's absolutely necessary to do things that way. That is example number 2. Let me see. Example number 3 is, yeah, the incredible level of adaptability. Okay, as an occultist on a spiritual level, I'm naturally cardinal, so I can start up things strong. I come shooting out of the gate, so to speak, in terms of getting things done, on especially on a spiritual level, or in terms of habit and mentality. But the things that I've struggled with in my life, because these are the things that I naturally lack in the way of abilities, are stability and adaptability. Now, both of them have increased, okay, in terms of stability and adaptability, thanks to my draconian energy. But what I've especially noticed is that my level of adaptability has shot up, as in, my level of adaptability has gone way up. I can adapt to a situation now naturally, and without any effort. It just comes to me, thanks to my draconian energy. That's example number 3. Other minor things that I can mention are that that my metabolism has also gone way up, as in my body processes food a lot quicker. And again, every other thing you can think of, mental and physical strength and all the other stuff, by default I set as a precedent for, in terms of my occult practice, has increased tremendously. So yeah, that's essentially it. That is what the DCR is exactly. That is what the dragon refers to. Okay, it's simply my divine power that was handed to me by God Himself, manifested, and it manifests as a dragon in general, or astral bodies. But like I described in the beginning, it's as things currently stand, it's simply all of my power separated. The separate manifestations have all fused together, and it's a giant dragon now. So essentially, if you were to see me spiritually, then you would see a huge dragon hovering over me, essentially. Well, hovering over me in a matter of speaking, okay? But you could tell that, listen, I am the dragon, essentially. That me and the dragon are essentially one and the same. It's simply an extension of my power, or literally said, a manifestation, better said. A huge dragon, the typical dragons you see in movies again and whatnot. Think Smaug of Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, you name it. Okay, the typical huge, big ass medieval dragon, and I'm talking about like skyscraper huge. Like I said, the only difference is that this dragon is completely blue. Okay, that's all. Bye.